you got to start learning robotics, but also don't be scared to take a PC apart because most things just fit in one place. And you have to always be willing to learn. I think that's the biggest thing in any industry is you have to be willing to learn. Whether you're in school, whether you come out of school, you have to always be willing to learn. Let's be honest, if you don't have a passion for something, it's always going to feel like a job. And you're not really going to enjoy it. It's just something you're going to do for the sake of doing it. And you're never going to be happy within yourself.
What do you think happens to, to those students? What goes through their mind that they fail in the subject at some point?
Either they're not, I feel personally though, that either they're not passionate about it, or maybe they're not understanding something, which is, in that case, then you need to maybe possibly change fields. I know we were talking off air about it, where maybe if you're not passionate about the IT, or you're just in a certain field for a job, maybe you need to change to an electrician instead of being an IT person, or maybe a carpenter instead of IT.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.
10 minutes before the hour, 8 o'clock, and I have to remind you that if you just tuned in into your radio station, please do know that you are listening to TUT FM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives. And then this says a plaque graduate. Definitely, Hunter was then telling me on the corridors that this might be the last one. We're not really sure, so please don't go, please stay with us, right? So definitely, we're stepping into it, a plaque graduate, and our guest for today, I don't want to lie, I was mispronouncing your name, even spoke to Tepis, and also we call it Mortimer.
Yes. Well, that's the way it's spelled, so.
Yes, definitely like that. And our guest tonight is Clifford Mortimer.
That's it.
Definitely from the Computer Management and Integrated Technology. And tonight we're speaking building a solid foundation for a successful career in IT. And I have to bring in this one because you're a busy man. Definitely, I was told that you have a busy schedule up and down with your schools. We didn't really get your bio.
Yes.
So I want you to break down for me that who you are, what got you into IT, and the story behind it.
Sure. Well, when I was, I would say anywhere from about 13, we got our first PC, and I broke it a few times, and my mother was so upset with me. So she would send it to get fixed. It would cost a lot of money, and eventually I learned how to do it myself. Then I would work at a transport company where she was, and I would go into the back. I would always sit with the IT guy. So I've always had a passion for IT.
Yeah, I just want you to understand what stemmed it, right? Getting a PC and then feeling like, nah, but this thing's not working properly. Let me just take it apart.
Well, you see, that's the thing is I love games. So that's how I actually got into it. Like most people, we like the games. And then things were costing money. Mom was upset. And then I thought, let me fix this. And then I enjoyed it so much that's what actually got me into it. I enjoyed trying to build websites back in the day. It was so much more difficult back then than it is now.
I could definitely not try that. Different spaces.
Now it's drag and drop. Back then it was you had to code at everything.
And where you hailing from?
Say again?
Where you coming from? Where you hailing from? Your city?
I was born in Pietermaritzburg, so Durban side. And then I've been in Joburg since I was maybe 10.
And schooling wise?
I went to Kenton Primary, Harvest Christian School. Went to college, Germiston College. I went and did computer courses at I think it was iTech. Yeah, so I've been everywhere.
Would you then say you were a nerd? Because a lot of people would then say people who are in that space is often nerds.
No, I was definitely not a nerd. I played cricket, I played soccer, I got colours for everything. And then obviously I enjoyed the PC work.
Definitely.
Afterwards, yes.
You
played a lot of games. So
never played sports.
Both. I was a nerd and a jock. A bit of both.
Definitely. So looking at time, let me just take this first question, right? Now, I believe that, building a solid foundation does not even start after graduation, right? So let's start by looking at what students in your field, especially the IT field, can do to start laying that rock solid foundation. Like, what are some of the students expected to know in their final year, and what are some of the industry related skills should they have expected to have cultivated in their last year?
Yes, well, I would say that especially AI is becoming a big thing.
True,
and
definitely.
robotics is becoming mandatory within the government schools. So I would say you got to start learning robotics, but also don't be scared to take a PC apart because most things just fit in one place. And you have to always be willing to learn. I think that's the biggest thing in any industry is you have to be willing to learn. Whether you're in school, whether you come out of school, you have to always be willing to learn. And that's the biggest thing. So don't be scared. Take a PC apart. Have a passion for something as well. So if you have a passion for PCs, then learn about PCs. If you have a passion for AI and you want to build something, learn robotics, things like that.
And then what would you say to people that, find themselves in that kind of fields but don't really have the passion? They just went it for money. Because, IT, we tend to believe that a person who's in IT, yeah, man, they're making a lot of bucks.
Change your field.
That's not for you.
If you don't have, let's be honest, if you don't have a passion for something, it's always going to feel like a job.
Yeah.
And you're not really going to enjoy it. It's just something you're going to do for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be happy within yourself.
And I always tell people that you should definitely have passion. Imagine waking up every single day, going to a job that you don't like. You just have
100%.
to go for the... Now, talk to us about the most critical technical skills that they should have focused on to stand out in the IT market.
I think nowadays, so it's changed a hell of a lot. So back in the day, we did service, we did this, we did that. Now everything's changed to online. Mm-hmm. So you've got to learn online skills, like Azure service, things like that, as well as robotics, AR. Those are the big things right now, is AR.
And what about software skills?
Software development is still strong, but I think it's going to start fading away.
Mm-hmm.
AI's, unfortunately, what I'm about to say, people aren't going to like, is AI is starting to take over some people's jobs.
True.
Because nowadays, you just AI, it tells you how to do it, tells you how to code, builds your website for you, does everything for you, which is now starting to take away from that. That's why you need to learn. And AI is still coding.
Yeah.
But you need to then learn how to do the AI.
So I definitely think some of us in the radio space might be safe for coming in from AI. I don't think a robot would then stand behind the desk and then definitely try to control everything. Now, but before we talk about the significance of internships in this field, let's first look at the significance of going extra mile. Actually, this question comes in after we have spoken to Isaac to say, sadly, in every field, we have people that are not, content with performing at an average mile or age, right? So then we have those who are obsessed with going an extra mile. Talk to us about, some of the industry challenges that might make it hard for an average performer to bake in the industry. Are there any?
So the whole thing is about learning.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to Google answers, because most people in the IT field, we can Google an answer and that's how we will figure it out. But you have to go that extra mile to do it. Whereas some people get scared and they don't want to do it, or they're lazy. So I'm here to speak a lot of truth tonight. I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Yeah. So I want you to extrapolate or elaborate more on the challenges that one faces, or even yourself that face on a daily basis.
I would say the biggest thing is, and it's not easy to always keep your patience in the IT industry. Things are changing constantly. So you've got to keep updated. You've got to keep on learning. It's not always easy. It's not easy to understand things. And then you deal with customers as well. Yeah. Customers are not always easy.
True.
Customers think a lot of the time we're not doing anything. They think that they're paying us for services, but all we do is we sit behind a PC and we look at it. They think you click, and it's done.
Understand, yeah.
So a lot of the time they will come, they will shout at you, they'll give you a hard time. So you need to have a lot of patience in this industry.
True.
That's the biggest thing, is patience and kindness.
Yeah.
Kindness and build relationships.
Sure. And beyond breaking into the industry, what extent can exceptional academic performance contribute to the overall career success in the students in this field?
So I'm going to need you to just repeat that quickly.
And I was saying, beyond breaking into the industry,
yes.
To what extent does exceptional academic performance contribute to the overall career success?
So as long as you have studied and you are good in your field, you have a higher opportunity. That's how I feel. It's also about who you know, but you have to be willing to put in the hours. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get to where you want to go. Yeah. It doesn't help coming in and then you maybe got 50% in, I don't know, whatever subject it might be. It's the same, and it doesn't matter what field it is. Yeah. You come in 50%, but you don't want to put in the extra 50% to learn.
Yeah.
You're just going to be average for the rest of your life. So you want to be high. You want to exceed. You want to learn everything you possibly can to get to where you want to go.
And then I think with that, you're then saying 50% is not ideal.
No, it's not. Let's be honest. If let's say a soccer match, right?
Yeah.
If you give 50% of that soccer match and you don't score a goal and you lose, you're going to be upset with yourself. You're going to be unhappy. The whole team's going to be upset. But if you give 100% and you score the goals and the whole team's giving 100%, and that's the thing. It's also teamwork. IT is also teamwork. Yeah. You're not one person constantly. Yeah.
And then I was speaking to a friend of mine, I think a couple of days ago, and we were saying, for me, I was like, man, 50 is a pass mark, man. I'm done with that. I cannot really eventually. And he was saying to me, like, no, Chief, for me, 50 is not ideal, man. Yes. At least I need to be there, 75 or 80. And
agreed, 100%,
definitely have to say, definitely we're going up. Definitely 8 minutes, not even 8 minutes, it's definitely 8 o'clock. I want us to go take a quick break.
Sure.
And when we come back from that, we'll definitely delve more into the conversation. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please do know that you are listening to TUTFM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives. And this is another edition of Plug a Graduate. Exactly 3 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock. Let me remind you once again that if you just tuned in into your radio station, please do know that you are listening to TUTFM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives. And this is another edition of Plug a Graduate right here on the Groundbreakers. What date it is? The 11th of December 2024. We're soon closing that up. Please do know that we are live on Facebook at TUTFM 96.2. We are also on X, formerly known as Twitter, at TUTFM _ 96.2, and then LinkedIn is TUTFM 96.2, Instagram TUTFM _ 962. And do remember that we are in conversation with, I don't want to bash your surname once again, but Clifford Mortimer. I'm not going to forget that. From the Computer Management and Integrated Technology, we then now speaking building a solid foundation for a successful career in IT. Let's get back to this question. Well, I was going to say, there are students who are set to graduate next year, finally, yes, who at the moment I might not be impressed with their academic performances. Now, sadly, at this time of the year, there's nothing much they can do about that. But what is it that they can work on now that can significantly increase their prospects of success in this field?
I don't know if I should be saying this, but they need to first check themselves and see, am I in the right field? Mm-hmm. If your marks are not good, you need to then see if you're in the right field. Mm-hmm. If you feel you're still passionate about what it is and your maybe marks are not good, maybe during the holidays, maybe study. There's a lot of places, F&B offers for 50 Rand on their e-bucks. Mm-hmm. You can get courses. You can go to our college. There's a lot of places you can go to. So I would recommend that they go to the places, download the software, and study up like that.
People might
especially
then
to learn, or maybe try even get a little intern job in the meantime.
And then people would then say, "Hey, get December, boss. Get December. we need to get down. We cannot be having stress throughout the course of the year, and then eventually." Breaks that. But I want to ask you then, what do you think happens to to those students? What goes through their mind that they fail in the subject at some point?
Either they're not, I feel personally though, either they're not passionate about it, or maybe they're not understanding something, which is, in that case, then you need to maybe possibly change fields. Mm-hmm. I know we were talking off air about it, where maybe if you're not passionate about the IT, or you're just in a certain field for a job, maybe you need to change to an electrician instead of being an IT person, or maybe a carpenter instead of IT.
Yeah, and then for me, I'll speak for me. I studied journalism. Wasn't really passionate at it for the at the starting time. I think that's why I told you that 50 was a mark for me. Like, if it came to that, was it? But don't you think that at some point they need to do some self introspection to see where is it they're going wrong? Because you might find that this person doesn't have the passion for it, but they're passing. Yes. They're making sure that they pass. What do you then say to that?
That is just that you have to self-reflect. Yeah. You have to look at yourself and say, is this what I want to do? Is it not what I want to do? Why am I failing? Why am I not doing well? Is it because I'm going for the parties on the weekend instead of maybe studying? Am I going for parties during the week instead of studying? There's often reasons. I mean, even in business, we have to self-reflect on ourselves. Things aren't going well. We need to look back, take a step, and see, okay, why is this happening? Is it me? Is it self-inflicted? Or is it the market, or what is happening that it's happening?
And then I was speaking to one guest, I think it was last week, if not the week before, then we're speaking about different branches within professions, right? One might then say, I studied IT, but this is not what I really want to do. Is there other branches in IT that you can follow instead of just becoming an IT technician?
There's a lot. I mean, you can do phone support. So let's say there's companies out there, internet companies, where you'll help somebody over the phone. There's that. There's networking. There's CCTV. There's solar. So IT is not just based where it used to be servers and hardware, things like that. Now anything that has an IT connection, even cars, even vehicles now, are basically IT. Anything with an internet connection. So there's so many different fields you can go into.
I always thought that if I would study IT, definitely, and sorry to say this on air, but one of the scammers, because a lot of people go into IT watching those movies, Fast and Furious movies, to think, maybe I can become a scammer or something of that sort. But now, are there any courses outside, the normal curriculum that you leveraged to boost your knowledge and skills before you got into the industry?
The very basic ones I would do, so there's A+, N+, so it's the CompTIA certification. Okay. A+, N+, INET. There's a whole bunch. Then you can go Microsoft certified. So yeah, I would start with those basics, and then after that you look at everything else.
True. And now there's a lot of data that underscores the time young people spend on various media platforms now, which while these reports are often focused on the negative aspect of social media use,
Yes.
I do then suppose it could be used for professional growth as well. So are there any industry related social media pages or content you believe that students should then consume or for their professional development?
YouTube, there's plenty. YouTube I would definitely recommend. I personally myself, if I don't understand something or I'm trying to solve a problem, a lot of the time I'll actually go to YouTube.
Do you
and I'll learn
believe
it.
those really? Like, do you believe those
Look,
YouTube tutors?
there are a lot of fake ones as well. You can't believe everything you see.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of them are, if you search for the right things.
I often go into YouTube when I'm struggling with something. I remember maybe it was a month ago, I was trying to fix my TV. So my friend, what happened, we were watching a movie.
Yes.
So his nephew got into the room. I don't know what pressed something on the remote and the TV just locked.
Yes.
And then he said, keypad lock. We tried, I think, for the whole 2 days.
Yes.
Then I would try to go into YouTube search, showing me a lot of things. So then I'd be like, but these things maybe don't work. There's
Yes.
literally nothing to that.
The thing is sometimes it doesn't,
Yeah.
but most of the time it does.
Yeah.
So you need to find so there's a guy on there, it's called Linus Tech Tips. He talks a lot about IT, things like that, and he's very good at it. He
So
explains
then
it very
would you
well.
recommend that also for studying, like maybe a person is not understanding a certain module or part of assignment, they can then go into YouTube and try
I
to...
do it. Even now I still study, and I will go to YouTube, and if you type like A+ courses,
Yeah.
it'll come up and it'll explain something to you. Or if you are not sure of how networking works in a certain module of N+, you can go to YouTube and it'll explain to you how to do it.
And I definitely have to say to our listeners, they should definitely stop listening to TikTok videos of Brother Egnima saying that the
Stop
time
watching TikTok.
and focus more into that practical development. Now, building a strong online presence, I think, is very crucial, especially on professional platforms such as LinkedIn. What tips can you then give to people who are creating a professional profile on LinkedIn?
When it comes to business, definitely LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You need to create a resume there. You need to create a whole profile for yourself.
Yeah.
You need to connect with the right people.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn is a big one. YouTube, not so much. TikTok, I'm not a fan of TikTok,
Yeah.
personally. And then Instagram,
Yeah.
but basics on Instagram. But the biggest platform for
LinkedIn.
business and for finding work is LinkedIn.
Now,
Without a doubt.
now, while we're still speaking about online presence, what do you have to then say to people that are posting things that might not be relevant, that could eventually harm their employability in the future? Maybe going out into a club, you've got drinks in your hands, doing certain drugs, or you naked and whatsoever,
Yes.
then you're posting on that. Do you then, as recruiters or even employers, go through that and check on that to say, but this person, this image might tarnish our company's reputation?
Yes.
Do you even think about that?
But what I'd like to say to all those people is stop it now.
Yeah.
Because recruiters do look at that.
Yeah.
When we get a CV, we'll look through the Facebook profile if it's open.
Yeah.
We'll look through TikTok. We'll try to find you. And if we see things like that, we feel a lot of the time, and I'm not only speaking about myself, I'm speaking
Yeah.
about a lot of the big corporate companies as well. They will not recruit you.
And then what is it that you're looking for when you're swooping through that? What kind of persona or personality are you looking for?
You're looking for someone who, and you can sort of see it through the pictures, through what's happening within their TikToks, things like that. Somebody who's respectful, somebody who is not getting drunk every week. People who aren't taking off their clothes and because it affects the company in a bad way.
True, yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, is we're looking at things that are going to possibly help the company, not destroy it. Because if somebody goes and sees, let's say, I don't know, Tabo is in the club and now he's stripping his clothes off and he's drunk and he's saying this and he's saying that, they look at that and they reflect it towards the company.
Yeah.
It's the same as when you go into a company and your employee does bad at that customer.
Yeah.
They don't say that man was bad. They say your
That
company was bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think also customers might be afraid to bring in their PCs or something to think, this one was getting drunk or something on the
Definitely.
Sunday. There's definitely gonna, I don't even have the better word for it. But now, given the rate at which technology advances, you did speak about AI, robotics. What is important to keep up? It is important to keep up with the tech trends. So now, how can students stay updated with the latest advancements while finishing off their studies? I just want to bring in this question and say,
Yes.
talk to us about how to strike that balance between doing your day-to-day work and keeping up with the latest advancements in tech.
So I would do news researches, Google searches, things for IT based, and those. So I read a lot of My Broadband. And on there, they've got a lot of tips. They've got a lot of things. And they'll say,
before we go forward, sorry to cut you. Like,
Yes.
what is that?
So it's a website. And on that website, they've got a lot of news, but it's all tech-based.
Okay.
So it'll say like MTN has an issue today, or MTN is soaring in the market, or EOH is having a bit of an issue, or they're not. Or so they talk a lot about the market. They talk about trends. They talk about AI. They talk about what's going to come in the future. They talk about this should be in like 2030. So if you go to websites like that, if you just Google news information for technology, they then tell you. Elon Musk is a good person to follow as well. He's very good.
He's making strides. SpaceX,
yes.
Tesla.
But it's because he works hard. I don't know if you ever heard the story at Tesla. When he started Tesla, he slept in the factory for a long time.
Yeah, I did.
While he made sure all the stuff was getting done. And that's exactly what the students should be doing. Is they should be saying, you know what, the more I put in, the more I will get out.
True, definitely, 120%. I agree with that. Now, in our engagement with some students, we were surprised to learn that most of them do not have portfolios. Yes. Really, most people don't have, and are aware of the benefits of building one. Talk to us about the significance of attaching a portfolio on your resume and how it enhances the chances of students getting hired, and what should then include in that portfolio. What makes a great portfolio in terms of IT, coming into the IT industry?
The problem is so many people lie on their resumes and their profiles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel the biggest thing is be honest.
Yeah.
So on your profile, be honest. Be honest about everything: your age, where you stay, what you look like, race. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Be honest about everything, because the day you get caught out, you're going to be in trouble.
And then, like coming off, speaking of a portfolio, what does it entail? What does it look like? I know that for photography, you have to have your pictures that you have taken.
I wouldn't even put photographs on a portfolio, to be honest. I would just put the things I enjoy, hobbies I do, because that's also a big thing. If somebody puts there that I enjoy going to clubs, you're less likely to hire them versus somebody who says...
Do you think that people do put such things like that?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
So if you put there, I enjoy gaming on the weekend, or I enjoy coding, or I enjoy maths, or I enjoy things like that, you're more likely to hire people that have things computer related.
Yeah, so definitely would it go to things related to the IT market? You cannot put like me, I enjoy poetry. Yes. You cannot say, I like writing poetry or reading poetry on the weekends.
You can still put things like that.
Yeah.
But don't put things that are going to be detriment to your CV.
True.
That's what I would say. So don't put there, I enjoy long walks on the beach when you're trying to go for an IT job.
Yeah.
You
and there's no beach in Soshanguve. We'll definitely know that this one is pulling out.
We'll put one there one day.
It has definitely gone to 15 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Please do know that you are still listening to TUTFM 96.2. We're amplifying voices, empowering lives. Take a quick break. We'll definitely be back. 20 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock, and we're definitely back. I took a quick break to get a glass of water, and please let me remind you that we're having problems with Facebook. Not us. Mark Zuckerberg is there in the USA enjoying some, I don't know if he's in the December spirit, is not handling issues, but we are live on YouTube Live. And remember, once again, our social media handles are Instagram at TUTFM_962, Facebook TUTFM 96.2, X at Twitter, well, X formerly known as Twitter, as at TUTFM_962. LinkedIn, we are TUTFM 962. And definitely we are still with Clifford. Mortimer. Definitely Mortimer. Alicia, please do look at that from the Computer Management and Integrated Technology. And now, before we get to some of the questions that we have, let's speak about your company.
Yes.
Where it comes from, what inspired, how is it pushing, all the details. Now I'm giving you this platform to speak about that.
So the company, in short, is called CMIT.
CMIT.
So our website is also www.cmit.co.za. I started in my bedroom. So like I said, I enjoyed IT, fixed the PC, and then started helping customers. Or where I was actually working, I was helping them.
Yeah.
Then eventually, when I think I was 21, I left and I started my own business with two other people. It lasted about 2 years. We weren't making enough money. We were new to the industry. We didn't understand everything. We were trying to learn, so it failed. I then got another job, and then I think when I was 27, I started again, and I've been going for 15 years now. Yeah, so now the company's been going 15 years.
And breaking it down, what does it deal with for someone who might not know or understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
So our company originally started doing maintenance contracts and servers. we now have branched out into so many different things. We do CCTV, we do solar.
You know, they should close that one.
I think that thing's going to attack me. Yeah, we do CCTV, we do solar, we do servers, we do websites, we do anything that has an internet connection, we do.
Anything that has internet connection.
We can help with programming. We have opportunities for youngsters nowadays, so we do internships as well.
Yeah.
We've even partnership with Tabo Era.
Yeah.
I met him about
Shout
a year
out.
ago, I think. Yeah, so shout out to Tabo Era and Tabo, the owner. I met him about a year ago. We started trying to do business together. We became friends.
Yeah.
And since then, we've just grown and grown and grown. We've got a lot of projects going. We've got.
You spoke about opportunities. I wanted you to break down some of the opportunities that are there, so that if there are final year students that are listening in, might know that they have a chance within the company, and at the chance, this opportunity must be this and this and that.
Yes. So we are in Alberton and Fourways at the moment.
Yeah.
There's also, like I said, there is Tabo Era. So the reason I talk about them as well is we have a lot of partnerships together.
True, yeah.
And we bounce off each other a lot. So even for him, I'm sure he does internships as well, where students can come in, they can learn. So what will happen is somebody will apply for it.
Oh, yeah.
And then depending on what field they want to be in, we can take them, we teach them, we train them, we give them study materials, and we do the best we can so that when they leave us, either they can stay with us, we also give an opportunity for them to stay with us, or when they leave us, they then can find a job somewhere else.
And then what are the requirements to get in, like the requirements for the internship or learnerships that are there?
For our company, we don't really have requirements. You come for the interview, we see you as a person, and from there, because I believe you can teach a person, but you cannot, I don't know what the right word is now. It's if somebody is not willing, they will never learn. So when a person comes in, if he's a good person, if he's a good talker, if he's a people's person, you can help him to better his life. True.
And now we were speaking about, portfolios. Then it brings me to this question to now, having established the significance of building a portfolio, like you said, I suppose that the why part has been answered. Now let's look at when and how, and now when students usually should, like when students are expected to start building their portfolios, and are there any specific tools or software they can use to build those portfolios?
So the only tools I really use or know of is Word. So if you go to Word, you can pull it up there for a profile or a resume. Everything is already there for you. All you have to do is fill in your information. Yeah. So it's not difficult. You don't have to go to these websites and pay them to do it for you. Yeah. You might need to just ask a parent or a mentor or somebody else just to help you to word it right. That's the biggest thing, because the words make a huge difference.
True. And now, I was looking at templates. There's that app we use. I forgot what is it called, but we're making our resumes with it. Yes. And they're bringing a lot of templates that you need to choose from. Like, does it matter what template you're using, or?
For me personally, not too much.
Yeah.
But also Word has different templates in it. You want to still have something that looks decent.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a Word document that just says, my name is... I don't know, Tandi, 20, I do this, I do that, and it's just all in one line. So it does need to be spaced out, it needs to look nice, and I wouldn't even say a photo is necessary to have, because at the end of the day, you're looking for the right person.
Because
it's not always about what they look like.
Yeah, because I was seeing those templates, they have to say put in your image and all of that. You have to put a tie if you have to, that you look presentable.
I would recommend, if you are putting a picture, definitely look presentable.
Definitely, right?
Yeah, don't pout your lips like you're doing an old KFC ad or.
Definitely. Now, you spoke about mentorship, right?
Yes.
Before I take this question, then let's take the importance of mentorship.
Yes.
Yeah, how important is that?
So I'm 43, and I still have a mentor. So I have somebody that I can phone. His name's Clifford Blackburn. I phone him if I need anything.
Yeah.
And he will mentor me.
Definitely.
So I do have to mention his name, because he's become a really good friend, and he's helped me through tough times, through the good times. He's just been there for me all the time.
True.
And that mentor makes such a difference in a person's life.
And now when we're looking at networking, where the role it plays in opening doors cannot be overstated. Talk to us about the role it played in your professional development.
So how did you do that first part again?
Networking, the role of networking, opening doors.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to understand the role it played.
One of the most important things is to network.
Yeah.
Like I said, with Tabo and myself, so CMIT and Tabo era, that has opened, I think, doors for both of us in many ways, without a doubt. The more you network, the more you build a community.
Yeah.
And when you become friends with that community, it builds bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why you always have to be respectful, you have to be kind, you have to be you have to be willing to go the extra mile to get to where you want to go. So yes, you have to build networks, you have to speak to people. Never be shy to go to a business and say, hi, do you have a job? Because even that one person you go to is building a network, and that person will say, you know what, I might not have something, but let me ask somebody else, and so that network will carry on growing.
It's all about knowing someone. I always say that here at UTFM, we know people who know the president of this country. Definitely. And now, given the fact that networking, requires one to meet new people, maybe tell us about the challenges of this, right? For example, how you present yourself to a potential employer or a client, given the space in the business that you are in. Yeah.
I would always dress nicely.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things, because presence will get you to a lot of places. Presence will get you in the door. So if you go in shorts and a t-shirt, and you say, hi, I'm looking for a job, chances are that person's going to be like, maybe go to the beach.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody comes in a suit and a tie, you're first going to say, okay, he's in a suit and a tie. Let me see what he wants. What is he looking for? Let me try to help him. Because he's obviously going the extra mile to see what he needs.
Yeah.
So even for my job, and maybe my mother brought me up the right way, but when I was 18 and I worked at Super CD back in the day, I just went to be the guy behind the counter. But I went in a suit and a tie. And because I went in a suit and a tie, I grew within the company.
True. And I love the fact about, dressing properly.
Yes.
Went to an interview wearing overalls at one point, and they're like, you cannot be serious. Yes. You cannot be serious. And while we're at this, let's look at the transformative power of mentorship like you did, especially for those who are in the field. Now, what are some of the industry-related challenges that newly employed graduates might be not able to combat without the help of a mentor?
Sure. A lot of the time, it's maybe understanding a certain situation or how you're feeling, because let's be honest, everybody can feel a little depressed at times. Like you'll look for jobs, you're not going to get a job, and the mentor is the one who will help you come out of that. I'm not good enough. That mentor will be just keep it up. He pushes you and he helps you through all the tough moments until one day you make it.
Yeah.
And then you can one day say, that is the guy who helped me.
Beautifully so. And what common mistakes do new graduates make when they enter in the IT field, and how can they then avoid them?
The way they speak, the way they dress, and it's presence, 100% presence.
You okay?
I see he's nodding over there.
Yes. No, you can take that question. Because you're part of that conversation. I heard you were saying something there.
You guys have mentioned it. I try by all means just to learn here and to also learn a bit of thing or two. Remember now, when you come to a place such as a place of work, it's very imperative to represent and come and add value. You're not entitled, especially if you come in as a trainee, you're not entitled to an opportunity. However, for the opportunity presented to you, show how you can add value. And you don't add value for the sake of can I use the word and say just entertainment, the boss or so forth, but rather just to show that, no man, look, I am worthy for a salary after my 6 months of in-service training, which is work integrated learning.
Yeah.
So with that said, please do come to a workplace, look formal, do your part. And I don't say come, me personally, I don't say come like this, come as the smartest person. I will want to know your soft copy, your soft skill. Soft skill referring to, if I happen to raise my voice for something I'm unhappy about, will you try to respond raising your voice higher than myself? You know what does that mean to me? You are not yet ready to be sent to one of my clients, because oftenly clients can be very, very cocky.
True.
And similar to what you guys just said, if you happen to represent some rude sense of respondents to my client won't blame you. The client will blame the entire company. And you will find that client sometimes even gets verbally. They swear at you verbally. And oftenly this is South Africa. We can easily turn up everything a little bit nastier. You sexist, this one is just racist. Learn to understand the different respondents that's required from a client's anger. Like they say, a client is always right. 2 rules, client is right. When he's wrong, go back to rule number 2. It's always right. If you cannot practice it with me, that's happened to be your authority, your boss, your CEO, your managing director, whatsoever way you define me, how would you want me to entrust you working with my client? Because remember now, this is IT, it's a workplace. You oftenly will engage with the client.
Yeah.
Be that you're a developer, be that you're a designer, be that you're a web developer, be that you're just an admin. You will oftenly engage with the client. So pretty please do work on your soft skill. It's of extreme imperativeness, if I should put it like that. But then again, gentlemen, let me stop talking.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And now, Cliff, let me call you Cliff, right?
Yes.
I want to, before we take a quick ad break for the last time, to answer say, now that we're speaking of mistakes, what are some of the mistakes and challenges that you yourself have encountered, and how do you think you could have tackled them if you knew better?
So, personally, always keep your eye on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The minute you take your eye off that ball, it's gone. I've experienced that myself.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you're respectful to the customers. Don't let the customers down.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you're going to do something, do it. I personally have told customers, I'm going to do something, I haven't done it. So that's why I speak from experience.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, the customer always thinks next time, he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it. And eventually you're just going to keep losing the business.
Yeah.
So I've had to take a step back. I've had to look at myself. I've had to actually go back to my roots at times and start again in a way. Just to figure out where the problems are and to see what am I struggling with. But a lot of it is dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Dropping or not focusing on where you're going. So instead you're happy with where you are and you're never moving forward. And the problem is technology is always moving forward. And if you don't move forward with it, it's going to leave you behind.
And then I just want to understand this. What does dropping the ball entail in your business?
So customer service.
Yeah.
I think Tabo can agree to this. If you do not give customer service, you're going to lose those customers.
Definitely.
So always. That's why I say when I say focus, you make sure the quotes go out when they're supposed to go out. If you give a price to a customer, stick to that price. If you tell a customer you're going to do something, do it. Like I said, I've made those mistakes where I've dropped the ball.
Right.
And I've paid the price for it.
And I love what you're saying, that you wanted to chip in.
If needs be, like I said, there's a reason why I could relate to the likes of Clifford with CMIT, can I call it now, relationships wise within business, because our thoughts and our understanding of life in general with regards to business and creating others opportunity aligns. Meaning that understand we have made mistakes. I cannot engage with you if you have that approach and understanding of no, I don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
We open about mistakes we've made, so we've learned from mistakes we've made. Someone remind me immediately, because earlier today, just as we're about to knock off, one of the guys that works for me, one of the juniors from TUT, asked me, so how do you deal with failures? I say, I have never recognized or identified any failures in my life, and I will say that with reason, because it's not so much of a failure, but it's a lesson. So there's none such a thing as a failure. It's just a delay let me rather say, it's just a lesson learned, so that it's experience gain. It's not a failure. There is none such a thing as you are a failure or you failing. It's not failing. Let me put it to you why I meant by that. See, often I'm called for mentorship, often I'm called for motivational talks, but I'm a businessman, if I should put it like that. But I find myself, I can motivate others and relate to others due to the fact that I've went through certain things. So what does that mean? Those things that I went to wasn't so much of failures, but rather preparation, so that I can be positioned in a good space with experience to give you advices from what I've experienced.
True.
So I cannot consider that a failure.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying?
True.
So in your life, it's the same thing. Everything that you go through that you think it's a failure, it's not you failing or a failure. No. It's a position.
Yeah.
It's a process.
And like you said, it's a lesson learned.
It's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned that can be used to your advance.
Yeah.
Give life a time and you will see where it leads you.
And I have to say, I want to emphasize when you say that the customer is right, and say Spijo Makaveli Kokasi when my Griza at like 200 to buy Scopas in the morning. Don't shout. The customer is always right. Definitely 25 minutes before the hour 9 o'clock, we take a quick break and we'll definitely close off this conversation when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, TUT FM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives. Definitely make that 22 minutes before the hour 9 o'clock. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in into your radio station, please do know that you are listening to TUT FM 96.2. We're amplifying voices, empowering lives. And I have to remind you that Facebook is down and it's not our fault. Mark Zuckerberg, like I told you, I'm sure they're doing, I don't know what they do in the States. Is this Thanksgiving or they're building snow, what things there. But we are still on social media, which is Instagram, TUTFM _962. Facebook, once again, TUTFM 96.2. Twitter, formerly known as, now it's X, formerly known as Twitter. It's at TUTFM _962. LinkedIn, TUTFM 962. And we're also live on our WhatsApp channel. You can guess out there. And we're still having Mr. Clifford Mortimer. No, not Mortimer. Mortimer. Let's bring in this conversation and ask, next year graduates are likely to be going to bring in or even sending out job applications in numbers, right?
Yes.
So what is it that they can do now to increase their chances of landing those crucial internships or jobs in IT?
I know it's the holidays and everybody wants to relax, but if you can, maybe even do a short course, get a certificate for something, maybe try to find a company to work at during the holidays. That'll definitely increase. If you can do a little internship, even just for December, that'll increase your chances so highly.
So much, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of certificates should they be looking into? And then do you have any websites they can try to get those from?
To be honest, I can't think of any websites right now off the top of my head. But you can just Google short courses.
Yeah.
I think it takes
Related.
3 and 5 days. Obviously IT related and to what they want to do.
Yeah.
So maybe even I think there's even AI courses which you can do in 5 days. You can go to there's a website called Skillwise. There they've got a lot of IT courses and you can finish them in a couple of days. It's just very small short courses that you can do.
Do really those certificates hold weight? Because I think people will then say, but a certificate that I can do in 5 days, does it really have weight?
I think it does. Even when you go to a course for 2 days, let's say you go to a sales course for 2 days, that still holds weight because you went there, you took the risk of going to learn something, and now you can show the person that you dedicated in whatever you're going to do.
True. And now, soon after employment, I do know that some employees do tend to focus more on their job, right, while forgetting the imperative role of continuous learning. How can the new IT grads keep up their skills sharp and stay ahead of the curve?
The biggest thing is watching YouTube videos and Googling.
You like YouTube videos?
I do. I watch a lot of. I learn so much from YouTube.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like even Microsoft Azure.
Yeah.
Which is now quite a big thing as well. You go to YouTube, you say Microsoft Azure, and there's probably a 2-hour training course on how to set it up, how to create domains, how to add users. Yeah.
And now there's a lot of competition in the field as well. I was speaking to Isaac, who's my content producer, and he was saying this. I suppose this leaves much room for imposter syndrome to kick in. What advice do you have for new IT professionals to overcome this feelings and build confidence?
Sure, this is a very tough one because in the IT industry there are so many people, but to increase your chances, like I said before, you've got to have respect when you come for an interview. Your CV needs to be right. You need to dress properly. You need to go for these little extra courses because what you put in is what you're going to get out. If you're just having a whole holiday, you're not going to have anything.
Yeah. You got a little bit disturbed there by that guy wiggling his eyes. You take that point, the last point.
So you got to keep on learning. You got to keep on pushing yourself.
Yeah.
The more you put in, the more you're going to get out.
Definitely.
That's the biggest thing. Is what you put in is what you get out.
A short one. Technical glitches. It happens. This is live radio. You cannot. You have to be prepared for anything.
I am a final year computer science student. My question is it a great advantage to be an A student when you get to work industry?
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mortimer Tinya, and my question is, how can I make myself the most wanted employee by many employers within the IT industry?
Let's then take the questions once again because of technical glitches there. We didn't really.
Yes.
Yeah. So now this is a question coming in from a listener. Please do take a listen to that.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mortimer Tinya, and my question is, how can I make myself the most wanted employee by many employers within the IT industry.
You got that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and it was my second question actually. It was a
Yes.
question, yeah, so you can take it.
So I can answer both if you want. So the first and the second. But yeah, so this one, the best way to heighten your chances is when you go for the interview, be presentable. Like I know we've been over this 100 times,
Yeah.
but it's the biggest thing is be presentable, because when a person sees you, he already has a vision of what type of person you're going to be. And if you come in shorts and a shirt, he's going to think, no, this person's going to be a lazy person.
True.
But if you come in a suit, or you come in a nice little dress, or you come in pants and a shirt, or for a lady, like a long sleeve shirt, whatever it is, you're going to look at that person, you're going to think, okay, this is already possibly a person I want.
Yeah.
Then when that person comes in for the interview, he needs to be willing to go the extra mile and say, look, for the first 3 months, I'm willing to come in for less than even what you're offering.
Yeah.
But after the 3 months, give me more than what you're going to offer if I prove myself. If I don't, then we can separate ways.
Yeah.
That already puts the employee thinking, wow, this person must really want the job,
Yeah.
and is really willing to put the effort, and is going to be somebody special within this business.
True.
So that's the biggest thing, is you have to be willing to go the extra mile and show the people. The other thing is your resume needs to be right.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, don't pout your lips if you've got a little picture. You want to look presentable in the picture.
Yeah.
And then have your CV structured where it's got your age, your date, your date, your age, where you stay. That's also another thing.
True, yeah,
which comes
definitely.
into place. If you stay far away, an employee doesn't always want to.
Yeah. Thinking of cost.
So I would put there on there, willing to relocate. So if you're in Soshanguve and you're going to come to Alberton, put there possibly that you're willing to relocate, or you will make the effort to be there.
Yeah.
Other things are put down hobbies, but put down more hobbies related to the industry that you're going for, and then put work experience. Even if you worked in a fish and chip shop, if you worked at Checkers, if you worked at, if you worked at a mining company, if you worked anywhere, put it on there, because the people can see that you at least did something during your off times.
True.
If you worked on holidays, you put it in there, because that makes a big difference to when an employee looks at you and says, this person's willing to work.
Yeah.
Even during the holidays. Yes, they maybe have a bit of a holiday, but they were still willing to work,
True.
to put in the effort.
Second question.
My name is Fundiswa Kanye. I am a final year computer science student. My question is it a great advantage to be an A student when you get to work in the street?
Definitely is. If you have an A, if you're an A student, it shows that that's a passion for you. You obviously enjoy that. So in that industry, it's a no-brainer. You're going to want to take that person because there's the passion there. You know they're going to put in the effort.
True.
And they know what they're going to be doing when they get there.
True. Is there another question? Definitely no other question. Let's take then this one to say now, customer expectations for digital experiences are high, right? How can the new IT professionals meet these demands and definitely ensure seamless, service?
Again, that's about learning. You have to go and learn. You've got to keep updated. Technology is changing so fast every day. Even for me personally, it's hard to keep up with the technology. So you've got to keep on learning every day. You've got to find out. You've got to Google. You've got to YouTube. You've got to see what new technology is out there and then try to stay relevant to that.
True. And now many organizations still rely on our own legacy systems. How can the new IT entrants work with and update our data systems to then integrate modern technologies?
So if you've got a legacy system, you could then use Azure and you get what is called a hybrid system. So you can still work with the legacy and the online until you feel comfortable working with the online system completely. So when somebody comes in, they can look at that and they can say, okay, I've got a legacy system. Let me see how to move forward. Or phone somebody. Speak to anybody. Because a lot of IT people, it's the same as networking. Like we spoke earlier about networking. If you network, you have people you can bounce off. You can bounce off ideas. Tabo from Tabo Era and myself, CMIT, we always bouncing things off each other.
Yeah.
And that's how we're growing.
And before you take it, what's a legacy system? There might be someone who's listening from Soshanguve block and doesn't know what's a legacy system.
So legacy system is either it's on-premise
Okay.
or old software.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Definitely. Another question coming in.
Greetings, my name is Batabile Mkabela, doing my diploma in multimedia computing final year. What activities can I attend now to guarantee that I will get a decent job after school?
Okay, so for that, there are so many. I would Google social media courses.
Yeah.
How to do social media. YouTube is full of it. YouTube will show you how to do it. I know I keep going to YouTube.
I don't know.
But YouTube for me is just it's like gold standard when it comes to things like that. Obviously, if you find the right content.
Yeah.
If you find the wrong content, you're going down the wrong path.
All right, and
but
now,
YouTube without a doubt.
Best practices in software development are constantly evolving, right? So now the question would then come: how can you then enter and stay current and manage the cycle, the life cycle of software products?
So life cycle in software nowadays is not very long. You can see you buy something today, tomorrow someone else has bought something else.
True.
So again, it's learning, staying constant, finding out what's out there, speaking to people, speaking to friends, family, networking with people, speaking to business owners. A lot of business owners within the IT industry, if you go to them and you say, look, I'm willing to work for free for the first month.
Yeah.
They will say, okay, come work for free. And they will then teach you what you need to know. So when you get out there, you then understand what's going on, what the lifespan is of software. But yeah, it's difficult to say for software because it's constantly changing.
True, right? And then are you also of the view that tech startups then outspace larger companies' innovation? And if yes, then talk to us about how the new IT professionals can then compete in such a dynamic environment.
To compete is going to be, I'll be honest, right now I don't have an answer to compete, but I do feel startups do have an advantage because I find a lot of the larger companies, unless it's Elon Musk, a lot of the larger companies sort of get stuck in a way.
Yeah.
And they don't move forward. They just get stuck this way and they think, okay, we're doing well. And they forget about moving forward. They forget about learning. They forget about seeing what's out there. They forget about hiring the right people. It just becomes, I don't know, it almost feels like they're in a job for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas the tech startups, they have a passion for it. I think that's where the biggest difference is, the passion for what you want to do, what you want to accomplish in life. Without a doubt, accomplishment and passion.
And with this one, I want to bring in Thabo Era because he did mention that there's certain opportunities that might be there for graduates. Mister?
Hey, mate, look, the show is called Pluck a Graduate, right? So there is no way that we will just come here to motivate and talk our businesses from Tabura IT Solutions and MCIT without bringing forth opportunities.
True,
right?
definitely.
I do recall there was someone that asked, so what should we do if we share interest and so forth? Drop your CV to CV at MCIT.
CMIT.
MCIT.
CMIT.
I said MC, my bad.
Yeah, CV at CMIT.
IT.co.za. You can also drop it perhaps now to admin@taboera.co.za. And we can guarantee you, or rather, I wouldn't want to say promise, or let me say, I will guarantee you we will help you with an opportunity for will and just for basicness. I think there was also other question that comes forth. I think it's when you guys were talking about trainings that they can attend to. So what kind of opportunities will there be for someone with no TUT sense of qualifications and just from matric? Let's not be blinded that opportunities or tertiary institution is not for everyone, or it's not for everyone. However, there is perhaps not that one person that just finished matric and also look and hope for an opportunity. We talk about you too, as much as we say graduate as Pluck a Graduate. Are we talking about you too? There is learnerships, right? IT learnerships, and Tabura IT Solutions are in the pipeline of quite a few learnerships that will be coming up next year. So please do keep in touch with TUT radio station, with you guys, I'll say, and of course now visit our social platforms. The likes of Tabura IT Solutions, the likes of CMIT.co.za, and of course keep in touch with the radio stations, is where we will come and advertise all these upcoming opportunities. But yes, there will be opportunities starting next year, January.
All right, beautifully so. And I do think there's another question coming in from our listeners. We'll take that.
Hello everyone, my name is Msiza Makaula. I'm a final year student doing computer science, and my question is, how does one keep up with the forever changing technologies in the IT space? Hello everyone, my name is Msiza Makaula. I'm a final year student doing computer science, and my question is, how does one keep up with the forever changing technologies in the IT space?
That is a hard one. technology changes every day. So like I said earlier, to keep up with it, you got to Google, you got to YouTube, you've got to phone your mentors, you got to phone the people, you got to look for the right opportunities. Like with Tabura IT services and with CMIT. Like we said, if you guys drop us a CV, we look at it, you come to us, you have that possibility of an opportunity where we will teach you on how to do things. Not everybody can obviously get in, but to keep current, you have to go to websites that deal with technology, and there you will find out what's current, what's new, what's going to be next year, what you need to study possibly. So yes.
I think from me, I have no other questions to ask you, gentlemen, but I'll give you this platform to speak about those opportunities that are there and then how people can eventually get into them. So the platform is yours.
I would like to hand this one over to Tavo.
These gentlemen is the
I want to put him on the spot.
I'm going to talk about these things differently. Remember, this is radio station. It wasn't my interview. However, I'm brought to it, so I will mention about it. Look, man, you need to learn to knock up on doors.
Yeah.
You know, cut the procrastination processes. I hope by now you guys have written down CV at cmit.co.za. I can only hope and wish that stop procrastinating. I hear you guys quite a lot ask what is the next, what you call it, new technology to study and how to get into. Can I say, please knock on doors for opportunity when you are in your second or third year at TUT doing IT. Only then will opportunities and doors open. Doors of opportunities will then open.
Yeah.
And for you guys that will, of course, now enter into the work integrated learning system that will go work for 6 months, pretty please make a point that you add your value to such an extent that whomever you work for will find the need to employ you even after your will is over. Right. So that is basically what I'm saying. What is the opportunities for next year? As stated, there is strong opportunities coming up. Opportunities for opportunities for learnerships, IT learnerships. I did remember, as far as memory serves me well, we also tried to open up a call center learnership for those, because remember, not all of us are academics, but all of us need to work.
True,
Right?
definitely.
So IT pretty much need you to be a smart head in your maths and science if you want to do programming. Not so much for your hardware, meaning now your A+, your hardware, your building of computers, assembling and disassembling pieces, not that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your basic IT skills. My good friend here mentioned quite a lot of YouTube, and I will say, YouTube should pay you for marketing.
Yeah, you're pushing the brand. You're pushing the brand.
But I know what it basically says. Like, man, make it a norm to start familiarizing yourself, going to Google, Google and YouTube to familiarize yourself with whatsoever you want to be skilled at. But if you're going to come and work for me in my company, I need you to come and add value to what we do there.
Yeah.
Right? So the only way to get into that space is when you start knocking on my door. Knock on my door and come, like my good friend said here, come formal. So you come formal. A good friend used to say, fake it till you make it. So come and act like you are a very formal person when you come to my office.
And and I was saying, last question coming in
So
from
can I
our...
just give a quick example
Please,
of somebody?
please.
I employed a little guy. His name was Homo.
Yeah.
I think he was 18 or 19 at the time, and he was still studying at university. So he would go in twice a week, and I saw such potential in this guy. He came dressed nicely, he spoke nicely, he told me what his passion in life was. So I ended up hiring him, even though he wasn't going to be there 2 days a week. Then he got a raise, I think 2 raises in like a year, because he was so good at what he did. Then after his third year of finishing, he left and started his own business. It was a bit very hard sore. He knows, I hope he's listening. But yeah, it was hard sore.
But that's how it works.
But yeah,
It's all
he
about
learned
that.
everything. He had an opportunity, but he had that opportunity because of what he did.
Yeah.
He applied when a lot of people wouldn't.
Yeah,
So-
and I want to take this last question then before I close off. This one comes in from Neo Mulep, was listening all the way from Pretoria CBD. She's saying that how can I see if a company is a potential scam when looking for a job?
The biggest thing is if a company asks you to give them money to work there, chances are it's a scam.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, especially on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I've been in those groups where, so there's job seeking groups, and then people will post there, please come and have a look. We've got this job for you. It's 500 Rand for your application, and then those people apply and they never get it, and they say we guarantee you a job.
And I have a problem
So
with
if
those.
somebody guarantees you a job,
Yeah.
you know it's a scam.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. How do I pay you when I need you to pay me? Let's be realistic on this thing. Sometimes it's not common sense that need to be implemented on some of this stuff. But the basics, you know what I mean? More than that, search. I always say Google, go to their website, see a bit of their existence. There's quite a lot of scam.
Yes. Ask the company name.
Get the company name, see a bit, do your own research, do a bit some due diligence, check up a bit website. But now I will also say it's actually I was scammed like that. These folks had the website, they had contact numbers, so even when I contact them, there was someone answering the phone. It's only when I asked, and it was a company in Cape that actually rather had a tender out, and you know how the game works. You first supply and then they will make payments. I was very excited, so I supplied this stuff and sent, and payment just never came through. And eventually, when I get my brother to go check the place, I found that this place is in non-existence. He called me like, "Oh, bro, I think they scam me because here there's
Fish
no
and
way."
chips.
There's not like that. So quite frankly, that just means do your due diligence. Don't be fooled with what you see online. Similar to these emails that you sometimes receive. Go a bit through. Don't look at the name. Open that name and see who sent that email. Was it a Yahoo email or was it a Gmail email? And you will always know the domain. The domain is that name after the @ sign. That's the domain. Check a bit if that domain really looks like if I'll tell you I'm a Telkom, I work for Telkom, or there's a Telkom tender, or there's a position at Telkom, you will send me an email from a Telkom email address.
You're 100%
So
right on that, yes.
you can write Thabo Langalebalele. Only the name.
Yes.
However, if you click on that name, Thabo Langalebalele, then your email will show.
Yes.
That email might just show Thabo Langalebalele, but at what is that name thereafter?
If it's
or
Gmail,
.com.
Outlook, Yahoo, things like that, chances are it's a scam.
Please, it's a scam.
So always do your research.
Definitely, it
Sorry,
has.
one thing I'd like to just quickly add, I know I'm jumping in here, but we were talking earlier about when you go for a job interview. Another way to increase your chances is to research the company you're going for the interview for. So when you get there, you know what they do. And you can say, oh yes, I saw this on your website, you do this and this and this, I'm really interested in this. Chances are then they know you're interested. Whereas if you don't, then... Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has definitely hit that mark on the dot 9 o'clock. It has come to the end of this show. Just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, to the both of you, thank you so much for making time to speak with us this evening. But
Thank you.
Time ends here. We'll definitely keep on giving you a call when there's opportunities that you can plug our graduates with. And but besides that, thank you so much for making time to speak with us tonight.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.